Not only our viewers, but a lot of NFL fans are very upset today. So Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID yesterday and will not play in Sunday's game. But here's what's really bothering people. They think Aaron may have lied about his vaccination status, with multiple sources saying he's unvaccinated. But check out what he told reporters back at the end of August.
Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized. You know, there's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys.
Aaron has also been seen on the sidelines and at press events without a mask, which goes against current NFL COVID protocols for unvaccinated players. All right, so Jeff, I know that you follow football unlike me. So what are your thoughts?
Well, Aaron Rodgers should be suspended for 2 games a season when they play the Bears because he absolutely destroys them. But, you know, I'm joking around a little bit. I don't want to get into the vaccine things, right?
We don't know for sure.
And we don't know for sure, right? I want to get in kind of the social part of this, right? So, Tory, I have to ask you because you're D.C. You were born east of the Mississippi.
Thank you.
Was he technically lying when he told the press that? Let's start there.
If you were a good defense lawyer, you could say immunized means something to do with antibodies and therefore wasn't lying.
Okay, so he'd get away with that. Now, being an NFL player, and I know we've kind of discussed this before, being an NFL player, is he obligated in any way to talk about politics, immunizations, anything that doesn't have to do with football? Should the media ask him about?
First of all, he became a public figure, so he's putting himself out there at a press conference for the media to ask him anything. He could have answered, I don't have a comment, or I'd like to keep this personal. He didn't. He fully said, I've been immunized, and any reasonable person, anybody who's reasonable, and I mean anybody, would imply to themselves that means I've had the COVID vaccine. The reporters in the room, the coaches, the team players, all of those people that he's sitting there unmasked with, that to me is a lie. That is misleading the public and those around you, and I don't think it's right.
Or is it a bigger distraction if he says, listen, I don't want to get vaxxed because the NFL doesn't have that rule. He doesn't have to get vaxxed.
Right.
That's his choice.
Absolutely true.
But now he's no longer talking about football when he has a press conference, which you have to do, otherwise you get fined. It's going to be all about the vaccine, and he wants to focus on football.
But so your answer is just a lie then?
But here's the thing. Go ahead, and then I'll jump in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, as you guys were talking, it hit me that we've already seen this situation kind of play out with the Denver Broncos here locally. There was, you know, they lost some quarterbacks, and at the end of the day, they had to get a guy that I think was just on the street to play quarterback. Remember, and it was embarrassing. What Aaron Rodgers did not only put the team in jeopardy and the people that work for the team, but making this more personal. Yesterday, I did a shoot at my home. I had somebody there that I know has a child that's immunocompromised. I myself have a child that's immunocompromised. And me using some kind of language that I've talked to an attorney with, where I'm technically not lying, it could kill someone.
So what would you do if you had somebody come over to your house with your child who's immunocompromised and said, hey, I'm vaccinated, and then you find out your child gets COVID, and then you find out that person who told you they're vaccinated is not vaccinated?
That's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why so many people are upset. But then you want to bring it to a social issue.
Right. So it's the same. I use this example all the time on the show. You cannot say you like Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump, for the record. You can't say you dislike Beyonce. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, do you see what I'm saying? And again, I like Beyonce. I'm just saying socially, if you go out and I'm asked a question in an interview and they're like, do you support Donald Trump? And I say yes, my career is in jeopardy.
But that's apples and oranges.
No,
because
it's not. It's not. It's media. It's media.
It's not.
If I say
You're saying I like Beyonce versus. Okay.
Let me finish. If I say I don't like Beyonce, I'm labeled a racist. I'm labeled, I do not support black women in entertainment, which is totally crazy because I don't believe either of those. Again, for the record, I don't.
Right.
Okay? If you say I don't believe in vaccinations for Aaron Rodgers, again, I'm talking to you. I got my shots. I'm all good. And I'm not lying. But it becomes a distraction. Now, it's not about football. It's not about the team. It's not about the game that you loved when you were a kid and you finally got lucky enough to do what you're doing. It's about COVID and public opinion and politics.
But by doing this, he's doubled down and made it worse. It's backfired.
But he's supporting, without him getting caught, he's supporting your narrative.
But the story, I'm not asking for my narrative, I'm asking for the truth. If he didn't want to comment, he could have said no comment, and maybe that would have caused a little spark of conversation. I'd rather that than have reporters and people around him think he's vaccinated because he misled him. That's not saying
make
I
a
don't.
great point.
But
I totally agree with you.
I'm not saying I dislike Beyonce is the same, because no one's misleading anyone. He purposely used words that confused and changed and broke the trust with the public.
The maskless pictures weren't great.
And he was maskless.
Let me give you one more example,
if he is unvaccinated,
Agreed.
then that would be wrong. If he's vaccinated, then he's following protocol.
Of course, but there's some two big sources saying he ain't.
Right.
Okay, let me give you one more example, okay? Socially, again, I'm going to bring it back to social. We think the internet is where real people live, and it's not, right? You have to say things like, I really enjoy Beyonce, I dislike Donald Trump. You have to say those things. But now we're getting into voting. And the voting is coming out that people aren't necessarily saying those things out loud, but their votes are indicating that's where they're leaning now. So the votes are going to speak when it comes out whether people, what side they're on. Not necessarily sit at a table like us and support one side or the other, because you get applauded.
But Aaron Rodgers influences those votes.
But if you say blank Donald Trump, you get a high five.
That's
if
so
you say
different.
let's go Brandon, you get fired.
I understand that, but those things are so fundamental as opposed to this.
But he's saying
I'm
what you wanna hear.
immunized. What does that mean to the normal person, to the children that look up to him, to the scientists that made the vaccine? That's a slap in the face.
He's giving the message that you want
He's
portrayed.
lying. I don't want him to lie just to give my message.
You don't think people go up there and accept awards and lie and say, oh, man,
Not about
I really
life or
did
death
this.
situations. I don't.
Again, I agree with the vaccines. Don't pigeonhole me
I'm not.
in that corner.
I would
okay?
not, and I'm not.
Vaccinated. I don't want that message going across.
Would you lie?
Because I'm in trouble if I say I'm against the vaccine. I'm vaccinated. I want everyone to know that, and I don't want to be pigeonholed in that corner, okay? I'm just
Absolutely.
supporting the opposite side to this, which is the narrative pushes people into that corner saying you agree with this or you are going to lose your job, lose your family, you can no longer support
I hear
them,
that.
and you are gone out of this industry.
But you're justifying that by lying.
No. Or are you just trying to keep your job?
I mean, I think maybe a way to avoid all this is not
Sorry,
allow,
I got to
I know, I like
not
it. It was good.
allow
It was good.
reporters to ask the team, anybody, that question. I think if you started a press conference saying we handle this internally as Daily Blast Live or as the Green Bay Packers,
Or what if someone? Or what if he just said, "I want to just
keep it
focus on
private."
football"?
Yes.
I think
He's
that
not
would be a
lying.
slight distraction, and I don't think it would go away.
How's Kyrie Irving doing with that?
That's what I'm saying.
But
We
he
have
came out
an
again.
example of that with Kyrie, and the thing is,
This
I
is bigger
understand both.
distraction now because of the cover-up. That's the problem.
This is, and the fact that he acquired it means that he might have come in contact with a number of people that, even though they are vaccinated, can still get it. I have a friend that got it last week who's not only double vaccinated but boosted. So people can still get it. So it is a lot, and there are people like myself where my young son is just getting his first shot tomorrow. So you're messing with people's lives here, and I think that's the difference. Is COVID is no longer a talking point like it was a year and a half ago. It's so intertwined in all of our lives because it's touched us all in such different ways that I just think you have to address it, or just say no one can address it ever. It's against our team rules.
Good conversation, though. Wow.
Good job, T-Bone.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Big Jeff.
Big Jeff got out of the cage a little bit.
I like
Big
it.
T-Bone did too. We're good. We're good.